I'm good.
I don't have anything good for the intro. Oh, you froze on me. He says, I'm good, and then freezes. Maybe this is the intro. Maybe this is just how we do this. Maybe we just do this entire week with Ben frozen. This is kind of nice. I'm not going to lie. Oh, we have movement, and he's back. We thought we lost
him. Oh, Jesus. It wouldn't be a Knicks pick video without me having some level of internet issue, I guess.
It's Knicks Picks in a nutshell. What is going on, guys? Knicks Picks week 7 of the NFL season, and I am joined once again by Ben. And if you'll notice from the thumbnail of the video, we've been going from blue to green, but now the thumbnail is white. Well, that's because we're back to being tied. It is a tied game at 26 between me and Ben with the picks. So speaking of which, let's just get right into it. Our week 6 recap and how the week went from the NFL season. We start with another boring fucking Thursday night game. They just, honestly, there's no reason for a Thursday night game. The players don't like it. Nobody gets to watch it half the time because they keep putting it either on NFL Network back when it was like satellite and nobody could watch it. And now it's on Amazon Prime where you have to have Amazon Prime to watch it. It's just stupid. There's no reason to have the Thursday night games anymore.
It's terrible.
But the Commies did beat the Bears 12-7. We move on to the Sunday games, the games that actually started to matter. And obviously, the Giants are 5-1 on the season after beating Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Daniel Jones, first quarterback since Sam Bradford to beat the back-to-back MVPs. I know Rodgers technically is the last 2 MVPs, but you got to go farther than that. It was Lamar Jackson. First quarterback since Sam Bradford when he did it to Aaron Rodgers and then Cam Newton to win against back-to-back MVPs in back-to-back weeks.
I did not know that.
I saw that in a Facebook post. The Falcons, like we said, did go on to beat the San Francisco 49ers 28-14. I think this really, most of this falls on the San Francisco 49ers more than the Atlanta Falcons. And Jimmy Garoppolo, I think, more than anything. But we'll get to a little bit of that a little later on. The New England Patriots did go on to beat the Cleveland Browns 38-15. The New York Jets went on to beat the Green Bay Packers. So the Packers lost to both New York teams in back-to-back weeks. The Jets beat them 27-10. The Indianapolis Colts went on to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 34-27. The Jaguars are just kind of like lopsided all year. Ben obviously missed another pick on that, so it's great to see. The Vikings go on to beat the Miami Dolphins 24-16. The Dolphins just have not been the same since Tua's been out, but there is good news for the Dolphins. It does seem like he is on the road to coming back within either this next week or the week after. You'll have to keep your hopes up, Dolphins fans, but the Vikings just continue to be pretty good, honestly. Probably the best team in the NFC North. The Cincinnati Bengals did manage to beat the New Orleans Saints in a rough one. Hopefully this is a sign for better things for the Cincinnati Bengals. I really do think that this is a sign for worse things to come for the New Orleans Saints. I think this is where all of their limits start to get shown, and I know you're happy about that, but I don't think the Saints go on to win too many more games the rest of the season, which I said at the beginning of the season, I'd like to point out. The Pittsburgh Steelers upset the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Ben is right back to getting these wager picks, just absolutely fucking him in the ass. Like, it's mind-blowing to me, like how you can pick. It's mind-blowing to me that to both of us that was the only lock last week.
Yeah.
And I got mine and you didn't get yours. That's hilarious to me. The lock that I did get, the Los Angeles Rams did beat the Carolina Panthers 24-10. I just think that the Carolina Panthers are in full tank mode already, and we're only in week 7. The Seattle Seahawks go on to beat the Arizona Cardinals 19-9.
I thought Murray would at least do better before Call of Duty came out, at least.
Yeah, well, the Call of Duty finally came out, and here it is. He loses 19-9 to the Seattle Seahawks. The Buffalo Bills win their rematch against the Kansas City Chiefs. I said that the Chiefs were going to win this one, and for a while, it kind of started to look that way because it looked like the Chiefs were going to have the ball last, and they did. But I don't know if it was a bad throw by Mahomes. I
think it was pressure by Von Miller.
There was a lot of things that went down in the play, but regardless, Mahomes threw the interception, and the Bills win 24-20 over the Kansas City Chiefs. Sunday Night Football, the Eagles remain undefeated. They beat the Dallas Cowboys 26-17. I honestly didn't watch too much of this game, but I think we finally realize, Cooper Rush had some good games, but he's not Dak Prescott. No. And the Cowboys need Dak Prescott. And finally, another Monday night disaster for Russell Wilson. The Broncos lose to the Los Angeles Chargers 19-16. The Chargers still don't look great, but I mean, they still are plagued with injuries. So like, I guess we won't really know until they're fully healthy again. But the Broncos just look awful. And Russell Wilson looks like a blind man throwing a football. He's literally Jameis Winston on the Denver Broncos. That is it for the recap of week 6. Like I said, after all of that, it leads to the score being 26-26 after we both get our games of the week and our picks wrong. But Ben gets his pick for me right, and I got my pick for me right. So that was 3 points for each of us. I got my wager right. I'm at 6. Ben gets his wager wrong. He loses 3, so he's back to 0. So after trailing by 6 last week, I did gain those back. So we're at 26-26. Ben, week 7 is coming up, but week 6 was another weird one. The one thing I just kind of wanted to talk to you about before we get into our week 7 picks, we are about to be 7 weeks into the NFL season, and I could probably name you 7 to 10 teams that I'm just not sure if they're good, if they're bad, if they're
Is one of those Atlanta?
One of them's the Giants too. Yes, and Atlanta
Well,
would be one of them too. All right, well, if we're to go through it, the Jets, the Ravens, the Bengals, Colts, the Jaguars, the Dolphins, the Rams, the Seahawks.
Out to the Chargers.
The Chargers, the Broncos. These were all teams that we expected one thing, and we're getting a completely different thing. And we're not 100% sure if we were just wrong or if they're going to turn it around. So with all that being said, we move on to our week 7 picks. And we start with the game of the week now. There was literally one. There was one game, and I barely could have called it a game of the week. I had to give it to Ben because we kind of rotate on who gets to pick first on what games we pick between the games of the week and the wager picks, because those are the two, I would say, important ones. I have to go with the Titans and the Colts for my game of the week. Two teams that, first of all, they're in the worst division in football right now. Any of these teams could go on a 4 or 5 game winning streak, but all of these teams could 100% go on a 7 game losing streak. So I don't understand this division at all. It does kind of seem like the Titans are picking it up a little bit better than the rest of their division. The Colts did have a good game last week. Matt Ryan had a decent game last week, but I'm going to have to go with the Tennessee Titans because they're at home. The only home team I might actually be picking this week. I'm going with the Tennessee Titans to win this game 31-23 over the Indianapolis Colts just because they're home. That's literally it. I think these two teams are evenly matched, and they've both been playing a little bit better than they started the season, but I still just don't think either team's that great.
All right, and mine is the Kansas City Chiefs going up against the San Francisco 49ers. Both teams looking to bounce back from last week. One really was just a very close game, obviously, with the Chiefs, and then one was that's just a demoralizing. I mean, I know I'm a Falcons fan, yeah, I was happy, but speaking for Niners, that's a tough L to take. Even though the Chiefs really don't have a great defense, I mean, Atlanta doesn't have that great of a defense either, and they held you to 14 points. Having said that, I do think that the Niners can somewhat bounce back, but not against the Kansas City Chiefs. I have the Chiefs winning this game 27-21 over the San Francisco 49ers. I was tempted to pick the Niners because it is in San Francisco, but you lost to Atlanta, man. I know it's my team. I should be yeah, but you only put up 14 points against that defense.
Okay, we move on to our picks of the week. Now, the New York Giants at 5-1 are going to be playing in Jacksonville against the 2-4 Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Jaguars are favored by 3. But we play better as the underdog, so I don't really care. While the Falcons will have to go up against the defending AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati, shouldn't be an easy one for you, and I have my challenge ready if you think that you're going with Atlanta on this one. But I have the Giants and the Jaguars, and I would love you to challenge this one, by the way. I am going with the New York Giants to win this game 26-20 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville started off this season hot. They looked like they potentially could have taken a huge step forward from their last couple seasons, and then last couple weeks they just came right back to reality and were like, yep, you know what, we're the Jacksonville Jaguars and this is exactly how we're supposed to be playing. So I will have the Giants win this one. Hopefully we don't all of a sudden sink back to our own reality that our offense just isn't that great and we're winning a lot of these games on defense. But look, Daniel Jones has a lot of heart. Saquon Barkley is more than enough talent to carry this offense to about 20-something points a game. Just going to hold out hope that Jacksonville still sucks, and we are going to win this one 26-20.
All right, and like Nick said, Atlanta is traveling to Cincy to take on the Bengals, and I was actually very close to picking Atlanta to win this game.
I can't lie, like it's not, it wouldn't have been like a crazy pick because Atlanta has been playing somewhat well and Cincy has been playing somewhat bad, so it's more even than it should be.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually a 6-point spread, so that means Atlanta will cover. Pick the spread with Atlanta. That's all I got to say. But don't pick Atlanta to win because I'm not picking Atlanta to win. I have the Bengals winning this one 24-20, mainly because I'm trying to be my own jinx, and maybe this is causing them to win. I don't know if I want them to tank for Bryce Young or do good, but honestly, it looks like Carolina's probably tanking for him at this point. So, maybe get Patterson this year. Take it.
So, speaking of that AFC North and the Baltimore Ravens, who I was just talking about too long ago, I gave Ben an AFC North matchup between the Cleveland Browns, who have been playing surprisingly well without Deshaun Watson, and the Baltimore Ravens, who have been playing surprisingly not well with Lamar Jackson. But Ben gave me those pesky Jets, who just seem to keep winning, going up against Broncos country. Let's ride. We really thought that Russell Wilson was going to do what Matt Stafford did last season. Maybe not win the Super Bowl, but show that the Denver Broncos were literally just a quarterback away from a good team or a great team. Apparently, the Broncos were a lot more than that away. I think a lot of this has to do with coaching, but I don't know what's wrong with Russell Wilson. I have seen multiple videos of wide receivers just running right in front of him, wide fucking open. They could even be waving their hands at him, and Russell Wilson's head is locked, just completely a different direction. So I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have an answer for Broncos fans, and I'm sorry, but what's wrong with Denver? That being said, if you told me at the beginning of the season that you wanted me to pick a game between the Broncos and the Jets, I'd say Broncos, no hesitation. There was hesitation here, but not much. I'm going with the Jets 28-17 over the Denver Broncos. And I even made it a higher scoring differential just because I really don't think Denver is even going to make the playoffs at this point.
All right, and in the AFC North showdown, I have the Ravens going against the Cleveland Browns, and I'm there with you, Nick. I'm pleasantly surprised at how Cleveland's doing. Granted, they have a very solid defense, and you got Nick Chubb, who I know you think Barkley might be one of them. I think Nick Chubb's still the best running back in the league, or at least this year he's looking like it. But I agree, it's 1A, 1B between him and Barkley, in my opinion, which, I mean, I've always had faith in Barkley. I just thought he just never got a chance behind A, a terrible O-line, and B, just injuries kind of hobbled him the last 2 years. I just can't pick Cleveland. I have to believe that Lamar and the Ravens can still show that if they're not the best team in the division, they're at least second behind Cincy. But regardless, I still have the Ravens winning this game 28-24 over the Cleveland Browns. And honestly, I think this is just going to come down to who just runs the ball well, because both teams are great at running the ball, but I can't see Lamar Jackson losing this game, I guess.
We move on to the ever so hated, by at least the two of us, wager picks. I did finally get my second one of the season correct last week, so we're both only 2-4 on the season. I seem like every week I'm not doing myself any favors, because after the Green Bay Packers lose to the New York Giants and then the New York Jets in back-to-back weeks, who last year that would be the most embarrassing back-to-back losses in the NFL. This year, not quite as embarrassing, but for the Green Bay Packers, still not what they should be expecting. They go up against the Washington Commies this week, and the only reason that I feel confident enough still in the Green Bay Packers after these back-to-back losses is Carson Wentz broke his finger. Not saying that Carson Wentz was the greatest thing that the Washington Commies had going for them, but I mean, when you lose your starting quarterback and you're going with a guy who has only been taking starting reps for the last 5 days, unless it's Heineke. I don't know if he's still on the Washington Commanders, but if it is Heineke, I might be in some trouble here, but I don't think so. I'm going with the Green Bay Packers winning this game 30-13. I'll honestly be surprised if the Washington Commies are able to put up 13 points.
Might give you a chance to try and change because it is Tyler Heineke playing. He is starting.
So my wager, I'm just kidding. There's not, I mean, outside of the one you're about to pick, there's really nothing I feel more comfortable with. So I'm going to have to go with this one.
All right. Well, he is picking Green Bay to lose. I mean, who are we kidding? And I am picking, for whatever insane reason, I am betting on Brady. So if I bet with Brady, I lose. If I bet against Brady, I lose. So no matter what, I lose whenever I trust Brady or don't trust Brady. I should just not talk about Brady. But unfortunately, I'm talking about Brady. And I'm talking about Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going against the Carolina Panthers. Like, the fuck? But I have the...
I have to go back. Have you talked about Tom Brady like every week this season? But
I'm actually looking back.
I'm pretty sure
not week 1, not week 1, not week 4. So 2 out of the 7 weeks,
7.
I have not talked about Tom Brady. This man ruins my career. All that being said, if they lose this week, I might just flip coins during wagers at this point because clearly I don't know what I'm talking about. Nothing new, but they have to win. They have to win. They just come on. Anyways, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm just out of it, dude. Trust me. I have the Bucs winning this game 27-17 over the Carolina Panthers. Swear to all that is good and holy, if Carolina keeps us within 1 score, and I mean 7 points, I almost want to consider that a loss for me at that point.
We finish Nick's Picks Week 7 with the 2-point conversions, and I'm going to be going to that Pittsburgh Steelers and Miami Dolphins game. And look, I think Kenny Pickett has had a good first couple weeks. I know he got his ass handed to him by the Buffalo Bills. He beat Tom Brady in his second career game. So I think he's playing pretty well. I think eventually he's going to be a good player for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think it's going to happen this year, but it did not take him too long to catch up to Mitchell Trubisky in terms of total yards for the season. In fact, he is only 283 yards away from being the Steelers' leading passer for the season. So that's my 2-point, is that Mitch Trubisky by the end of this week will be the Pittsburgh Steelers' leading passer for the season, meaning he's got to throw for at least 284 yards, barring that Mitch Trubisky doesn't throw for any. They don't bring him in on some sort of like weird play or something like that, or Kenny Pickett gets hurt. I don't think he's going to turn back from that within the next couple of years, because I do think Kenny Pickett is going to be a good player for this Steelers team. I just don't know if it's going to reflect so much on his record this season.
Well, Nick, you took the Sunday night game. I am going with arguably this is the best matchup. These are 2 juggernauts. It's the Bears and Patriots. Well, I had, never mind. No, these 2 teams are honestly, yes, the Patriots are an average. I would say they're an okay team. I would say they're just around like a 500-ish type team. And the Bears, I got nothing. I feel so bad for Justin Fields. I really do. I think he has so much talent and it's just going to get wasted, and I feel so bad. But I also don't really believe in what's his name? Bailey Zappi, whatever the fuck his name is. I don't know. Not relevant. All that being said, these are 2 superstar quarterbacks. And because of that, I think that between both of these teams, they will not score more than 2 touchdowns. Between the Bears and the Patriots, there will be no more than 2 touchdowns between the 2 teams.
So you mean like 1 each?
Either 1 each, or the Patriots get 2, or the Bears get 2. But between both of them, there will be no more than 2 touchdowns scored in this game.
So that is it for week 7, guys. If you haven't already, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a lot. I go through the streaming schedule probably every single Nick's Picks, but real quick, we're going to go through it. Mondays, we are on Twitch at 6:30. On Tuesdays, we are back on YouTube at 5 o'clock. Wednesdays and Thursdays, we are not streaming, but Thursdays, we do post Nick's Picks every week. like the one you're watching right now. Friday, we are back on Twitch at 6:30, and then Saturdays and Sundays, typically we start around noon, but if anything changes, which it typically does for the weekends, I do post it on the Facebook page. So if you're not on the Facebook page yet, go ahead and follow us there. But that is it for Nick's Picks Week 7, guys. Again, the current score is 26-26. The Fantasy Football League is still going on to determine who is going to have to come up with the trivia questions that one of us will have to answer at the end of the season while we're eating the hot wings or hot whatever. I'm not doing well in the fantasy. You're doing better, but
I started 3-0. I'm 3-3.
I was 2-1, and I'm on a 3-game losing streak. So am I. So it is what it is. Ben, before we head out for Week 7, is there anything you want to say before we?
Like I
fucked that up horribly.
You want to try again?
Nope, you're good. Go for it.
Oh, all right. Well then, go Falcons. I had nothing.
Go
He kind of caught me off guard there.
Well, we're both still a little football hungover from this past weekend.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go, baby! Let's go! Storm the field and all! Let's go!
Great top moment of my life there.
Top 10 at least. All right, that is it for Nick's Picks Week 7, guys. I hope you have a great one. Peace. You're literally going to sit there and not say it. You just said top moment of my life, something that we experienced together. And then you don't even say bye at the end of Nick's Picks.
Bye.
Better.
You happy now?